Hello and welcome to Walk the Cinema podcast. And today we're just going to jump right into it because we're going to be talking about Paddington 1 and 2, so it might be a little longer than normal.
So yeah, Paddington.
I guess we should start with the first one.
Yeah. First of all, we should probably talk about how this is probably a very well beloved and iconic children's
Book series.
book series.
It has
yes.
little animated shows too.
Yeah, and it kind of these movies kind of started a Paddington craze, I would say.
Oh, 100%. Especially the second one.
People love Paddington.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And it is great. I was like a little hesitant.
Yeah,
Skeptical.
skeptical.
Skeptical. And also hesitant because I kind of was scared to go and watch them. Because I was skeptical that, it's just all talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also scared that it might not be all talk, but I just don't like them, but I love them.
Yeah, they're cute. So with Paddington,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sets it up that they're in the darkest Peru, and a explorer has discovered this new species of bear that can actually kind of communicate with humans and can learn their language.
Yeah. This adventurer that goes into Peru kind of starts to teach them English and gives them a hat, and he wears the hat, which is the Paddington hat, the recognizable red hat, and yeah, that's kind of how they set it up.
Yeah, and then we have like 40 years later, and it's the same bear couple, and they have a orphaned nephew at this point.
Yeah, which is not really their nephew.
But we don't know that until the second one, remember?
Oh, darn it.
But, their home gets destroyed by a storm. The uncle dies, and his aunt decides to send him to England because she thinks that there he will be accepted by a family.
Yeah, she tells the story of how when there were a lot of orphaned kids, they would just put their name around their neck and saying that they needed a family or that they were looking for a specific person and they would help them. And she thought the same thing would still be happening. But it doesn't.
No.
Which is, this movie is surprisingly emotional. That's part of the emotion that we just see a little baby bear in the train station waiting for someone to adopt him.
Yeah, and finally, at the very end of the day, he comes across the Brown family, and the dad is kind of Henry Brown is kind of hesitant and doesn't want to get involved. He's a risk analysis, or he analyzes risks.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
That it's very dangerous to have a bear in your hand.
Yeah, but the mom, Mary Brown, decides that she wants to open their home at least for the night, so that he's not,
I mean, honestly, have you seen him? He's so cute.
Yeah, exactly.
And they name him Paddington. He doesn't really have a name. He has a bear name.
Yeah, but nobody can pronounce it.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it personally. Yeah. So we just call him Paddington for the rest of the week because he's in the Paddington station.
Yes. And, we have the rest of the family, Judy and Jonathan. Judy is like a teenager that suffers from embarrassment, and she thinks everything that her parents do is embarrassing, and having the bear is embarrassing. And Jonathan is just kind of a kid that is excited to have something new happen.
I think as a kid that age, this would be incredible.
Yeah.
I think this type of, I guess the movie itself now is iconic and adults love it and everyone loves it, but I think it's intended for kids that age that would be super excited when if this happened, which it never would.
And I feel like we've forgotten an important part of Paddington's character is that he loves marmalade.
Oh, that's the most important part. Yeah, he loves
really
marmalade. He has it always in his hat.
Yep, a marmalade sandwich
for
emergencies.
That's what his uncle said, yeah. And he kept saving it for emergencies, not giving it to the pigeons, and then it pays off.
Yeah. But he's trying to find the explorer that his aunt and uncle had met 40 years beforehand, because he thinks that maybe he will give him a home since the Browns aren't going to be a permanent thing.
Mhm.
And, we also find out about our villain character played by Nicole Kidman.
I think this is the terrible Nicole Kidman.
Uh,
Because she could be good, but I kind of think she's the worst part of this movie.
yeah, I don't necessarily think that she's the best in this, but I do think Nicole Kidman can give off a very creepy, scary vibe.
That worked.
And it did work for this, I say, in particular. But yeah, as a whole, her character I don't love as a villain,
Yeah.
But she runs a taxidermy business, and she wants to,
She really wants a Peruvian bear.
yeah, she wants to
That's
kill
the rarest
Paddington
animal, yeah. She
and
really
stuff
wants to
him.
stuff him.
But
It's a very cartoony type villain.
mm,
That's kind of like Cruella in 101 Dalmatians.
yeah,
They just want to kill the cute character. That's a pretty easy villain to
yeah.
have.
But in the midst of that, Mary, the mom, takes Paddington on this kind of adventure or kind of this, not really adventure, just excursion to try and find the explorer. And they go to an antique shop owner who finds on the hat that there is a stamp from the Geographers Guild.
Yeah.
So that's like a new clue for them. And I think it's Henry that takes them to the guild, where they find out that there was no expedition to Peru, like in their record.
Yeah, that's what they say, yeah. They don't have any records of it ever happening.
Yeah.
And that the person they claim was the explorer doesn't exist.
Yeah. And they have to break in, kind of.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
do like a little.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty funny, cute scene.
Yeah, and it's also a scene where Henry kind of loses his uptightness, where he's okay with risks.
Yeah, which is going to happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not very groundbreaking. The movie's just so cute.
Yeah, it's cute and it's fun, and I think it would be entertaining for the audience that it's intended for.
I think it's entertaining for a married adult couple that like to watch movies on their downtime.
I know, but I'm saying that if it's enjoyable for us, I can see how it's definitely enjoyable for the intended audience, like children. But yeah, as the movie goes on, Paddington almost gets kidnapped by Nicole Kidman's character, Millicent.
Which we find out what she truly is.
She's the daughter of the explorer, and she's mad that her dad didn't want to use or take a sample, I guess, of his discovery because
he thought they were too human or too
civilized,
I suppose, yeah. But the real thing this movie accomplishes, besides the plot, is obviously making a kids movie that's enjoyable for everyone, which is hard.
It is hard. It's very hard.
But this is like truly it. I think the second one more, which we'll get to, but this is really how you do that.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of kids movies kind of fall into the trap that they become annoying.
Even with Pixar movies, people say they're enjoyable for adults, mostly because they put a couple adult jokes in.
Yeah.
Paddington doesn't do that.
No, it's just a good movie.
It's just good. Yeah, it's just so good that as an adult you have to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's. I feel like it's one of those movies where if you have a child and this is their favorite movie, you wouldn't be mad that you'd have to watch it over and over again. I still probably lose
my mind, but I don't have a child.
Yeah. Yet.
Yeah, put that into the world. But yeah, it still get annoying. I don't agree. It still get very annoying, but probably one of the lesser ones.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of Curious George.
I love Curious George.
I love Curious George, but the show's not good. Well, the first one, debatable. But Curious George is not good. It's not a good character. But I like it so much just because it's cute, but that's super childish.
Yeah.
And this, I think, has the same spirit while being actually good.
Gotcha. Yeah.
and embracing all types of crowds and not just little tiny babies
Right.
and me.
I can see that. But it's a nice ending. It wraps up just like how you would think it would, where the Browns realize that they can't live without Paddington and their family. And
Yeah, which makes it into the second movie.
yeah, but first let's see, what did you give this first
Oh, we're
movie?
gonna do separate. Yeah, I
Yeah.
give it an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8 as well.
Yeah, which is a high standard when you have a sequel that's regarded much higher.
Yeah, it's
it's higher rated on Rotten Tomatoes than Citizen Kane.
yes, it dethroned Citizen Kane as 100% fresh.
Worse than who?
Yeah.
I don't never heard of him.
But yeah, Paddington 2 kind of.
Yeah, it captures what you'd think. It's just, it has everything established where he's happy living with the Browns. The Browns are happy with him.
He's made the neighborhood better. Like, he says hi to everyone in the neighborhood that he passes.
I think that's part of what makes the second one better. Because we agree it's better, right?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees, I think.
Pretty much.
And the second one it's they don't have to establish anything.
Yeah.
So they kind of take advantage of that just to make a kooky adventure. That sounds so kiddish right now. But yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah. And I think that we kind of get who our villain is right off the bat.
And it's a much better villain.
Yeah, it's Hugh Grant, which, again, great choice for a villain in my opinion. But he lives in the neighborhood. He's one of their neighbors.
Well, he just became one of their neighbors.
Yeah, he just became one of their neighbors, and he is a magician.
He like owns a circus.
Yeah.
A fair, an amusement park.
Yeah, but he's like a magician.
Yeah.
On his.
He used to be really popular.
Yeah, he was an actor.
Yeah.
He was an actor. And Paddington wants to get something for his Aunt Lucy's birthday.
Yeah, which is it's kind of you have the villain and then you have in the first one the hat, which is kind of what connects them to the villain in a way. And in this one, it's a pop-up book of London, which he wants to get for Aunt Lucy
because she never got to go to London.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a much better object, and it's special.
Yeah,
it's a really good idea. And it's a really good sentiment to make Paddington have, where he just wants to show his aunt London, and that's it.
Yeah.
While the villain is interested in the financial gain, because there's a hidden game within the book that he ends up figuring out.
Yeah. But so the book had ended up in the antique shop, and Paddington was working to be able to purchase the book. Like, he had his own window washing job.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
This
movie was just so much funnier than the first one.
Yeah.
Even the villain was funny. The funny little gag where he dressed as a nun.
Yeah, but so he's working really hard to get the book, and he goes to the shop to look at it and kind of imagine what it would be like when he gets it, and he sees somebody breaking into the shop, and he tries to be a good bear by trying to stop him, but it doesn't work out for him, and it ends up being him that gets framed for stealing the book.
He's a magician, so he just does the little smoke disappearing act.
Yeah. So Paddington ends up being put on trial for stealing the book.
And he goes to jail, which is incredibly unexpected.
And it
if you don't know about this.
Yeah, and it's like something, because I think you knew more about this series than I did going into it, and I remember you saying, oh yeah, he goes to jail in the second one, and I was like, that's ridiculous. What do you mean he goes to jail? Like, that doesn't sound like anything that would happen in a kid's movie.
No, but it's great.
But yeah, he goes to jail because he gets convicted of stealing the book, but obviously the Browns don't believe that he's the one that did it and try to investigate what's going on to the best of their abilities, and tries to get other people involved in helping them find the real thief.
Yeah.
But while he's inside prison, he starts to make friends, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a moral lesson for kids
Yeah.
that just because people are different doesn't mean they can be your friends, but it's disguised as tough prisoners. And who's the name of the main kitchen guy?
Oh, the kitchen cook is, oh, what's his name? Knuckles.
Yeah, Knuckles is like the big bad guy in the kitchen that everyone's scared of.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously Paddington makes his recipe for marmalade, which is delicious.
And he goes crazy for it and wants him to make the marmalade for everyone.
Yeah, and then they get other inmates into this kitchen project. Everyone's doing their specialities, and then he betters the jail
Yeah, he
the
betters.
same way he bettered his neighborhood.
And honestly, I wasn't going to bring this up because I didn't think about it until right now. This is very reminiscent of Grand Budapest Hotel.
The color scheme.
Well, no, well, yeah, that too, but also just you have like the charismatic main character that goes to prison and makes friends with the people.
Yeah, with the baddies.
Yeah.
And
Which,
then they help him escape.
yeah, exactly.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Drawing parallels, but you can go check out that episode if you'd like as well.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
But back to Paddington too. He for example, he was put on washing duty, laundry duty, and he accidentally put the sock in the
red sock.
Yeah.
The washer, so everything's pink.
Yeah, everything gets turned pink.
Everyone's wearing pink uniforms.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's pretty funny to see grown men in the pink uniforms looking sad.
Yeah. But, while he's in there, trying to make people's lives better and try to keep his head held up, the Browns are furiously looking for the thief that basically made Paddington go to jail.
Yeah.
Like framed him. So,
Which is also causing chaos around London because he's looking for the clues in the book.
Yes.
Which are loose letters that he's trying to connect.
So you see, like, at one point he's disguised as a nun and he knocks over the statue there trying to escape.
Yeah, it's a statue at a church, convent.
Yeah.
Something. It's something religious.
Yeah.
And then he does this magic trick thingy, he becomes a priest.
Yeah.
They don't recognize him. I guess the only adult joke I just thought of that's in both movies is the guard that's really into men dressed as women.
Yeah.
That's the true. More adult joke in both of them.
And, the Browns kind of piece together that it might be their neighbor since it's somebody that I think he slips up by saying Mary had drawn a sketch of the person based on Paddington's description.
Yeah, and it matches the sketches of the nun.
Well, she figures that out, but Hugh Grant's character says something about
good looking guy,
like his piercing blue eyes, and she's like, how'd you know they were piercing blue? And then
instead of imagining them to be blue.
Yeah, and so she kind of pieces together that it's him that could be the.
That's at the point that she flips all the drawings together and sees the faces match up.
Mm-hmm. So they figured out that it's him, and so they're trying to figure out a way to get him out of the house so that they can look for the book, look for clues, look for anything that could pin him as the actual criminal. And so we get like that scene where Mary breaks into the house. There's like an elaborate thing where the kids are involved. They get his agent to say some words and then they play those words back to him to get him out of the house. And then Mary pops out of a box and then, gets her husband to
I think the ending is probably the least good, because I don't want to say bad, part of the movie. It's the break-in, it's the train scene. I think the ending, how it actually like wraps it up, I think it's really cute and nice.
Right.
With the aunt.
Oh, right.
coming to London. It's like, why would you get her the book if you can bring her here?
Yeah.
It's an even better way to show London. That's really good. That's a
Yeah.
really good ending. Everything about this is better.
Yeah. And like, okay, back to the train scene because
Okay,
we
go
kind of
ahead.
we kind of glossed over it. But so it culminates with Hugh Grant getting away on the train, and they're trying to Paddington had escaped from prison with the other prisoners.
Yes, the prisoners abandoned him.
Yeah. And so they're trying to stop him before he leaves town so that they can prove that he was the one. And it's kind of nice because you finally, or at least this was the scene where I finally saw how tight the script was.
Oh, it's very tight, yeah.
Because
it wraps up completely.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the beginning of the movie, in the kind of while you were gone, this is what's been happening type thing, where it talked about how Mary was competing or training to swim the English Channel to get to France. And Jonathan was really into trains and had built several models and kind of knew the inner workings of trains, and the daughter had started a newspaper and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the main critical appeal of this.
Yeah.
As a critic, you're watching a movie that's so tightly written that you can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, because it calls back to those things at the end where Jonathan is able to pilot the train because he spent so much time building and learning about steam trains.
Yeah, and they save Paddington from drowning.
Yeah, because Mary has been training to swim.
And also the inmates go and help her, which it's kind of their arc. They become good people.
Yeah. And, I was like, okay, this is what people meant when they said how tightly written this script was and how
everything. They set up, Paddington sets up a relationship at the beginning kind of accidentally where he cleans the guy's window and he sees a girl out of the window, or a woman, and he dates her, and they also are on their side.
Yeah, they fall in love and stuff. So Paddington, it's very like, it sprinkles in some of those relationships that are background, but still kind of nice to see, I'd say.
Yeah, all of it feels like loose stuff, just information. Kind of like, if you're gonna compare it to Grand Budapest, like kind of like Wes Anderson does, just little quirks. But then at the end, they actually mean something.
Yeah.
They come back and they wrap up the story and they help you finish it. And that's why the second one is such a good film.
Yeah, and then obviously we just talked about how it actually ends, where Paddington's really sad that he wasn't able to get the book to Aunt Lucy
for
her birthday, but the whole town had pitched in and brought Aunt Lucy to him instead.
Yeah,
she finally
so cute.
Got to see London.
That was great.
For herself.
Aunt Lucy's great. She made a great mother to him.
Yeah.
When they had to adopt him because he was a
little cub.
A little cub in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. We're gonna get a third movie.
Yes.
Which
exciting.
Is when it comes out, we're gonna watch it, and
Obviously.
That's probably gonna be the episode for that week. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't have a date on that.
Yeah.
There might be one, but I don't have it on me. But yeah, that's gonna be the episode. If it's bad, we're gonna hammer down on it. If it's good,
we'll give it praise as well. But it's nice to see that, it's incredible to see that this is 100% fresh.
I don't think it is anymore.
You don't think so?
I think there's a new review that made it 99%.
Oh, that's sad then.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's okay.
Because I think that Paddington is so sweet, and it's so nice. It's just such a nice and refreshing type story, It is 99. You just pulled it up.
I pulled it up. We need to find this person and give them a mean eye.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could ever.
They can have their opinion. That's not.
No, but it is cute. It's sweet, and I gave this one a 9 out of 10 because I thought it was just slightly better than the first one, which is kind of hard to do as a sequel.
All right. Now this is off episode, but it's in the episode. Eddie Arison, the only rotten review for Paddington 2 said the charm is entirely missing from the two Paddington films.
I don't know what films he was watching.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him, but I don't like him that much.
We're gonna call out, what's his name again?
Eddie
Harrison from the UK.
If you want to come on the show and tell us why you hated it, we don't welcome you. So don't contact us, please.
Not that you would, but yeah, I gave it a 9 because I thought it was just slightly better.
I don't think it's slightly better. I think it's significantly better, but I still gave it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. People give 10s to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not there. Maybe it is on a more watches, but this time it's not. It's still great.
Yeah, and I think like I said, I think it is hard to kind of follow up. It's hard to be as good as the first one, let alone be better, you know?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
I think it was better at literally everything.
Yeah.
The villain was better. The connection to the villain was very much superior.
Yeah.
The story itself didn't have to worry about
the setup.
This establishing the character relationships, anything of that. So the only relationship that's major that gets established is the villain. Yeah, there's new relationships in the film, especially with the people in the prison and all that, but it doesn't take as much time as the first one does.
Mm-hmm.
So he focuses more on Paddington being Paddington, which I think is what people love.
Yeah, people like Paddington being Paddington.
Yeah, because he's innocent.
He's delightful.
And he likes marmalade.
Exactly. He's a little tiny bear that loves marmalade and can talk.
And can go to jail. Apparently there's no laws against that.
Yeah. It's crazy that they sent Paddington to jail.
Maybe you'll send him to space in the third one.
Maybe. I don't know what the third one could bring us, but
I'm sure we can find information on it, but we don't want to.
Yeah, we want to be surprised.
Yeah,
we want to
take excited for the third one.
We want to take this ride as it comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think
you should subscribe just so you don't miss that Paddington 3 episode when it does come out. And in the meantime, you can check older episodes and the episodes that come out in between.
Mm-hmm.
And like and share. Anything you can do for us would be greatly appreciated. And we'll see you next time on Walk the Cinema Podcast.